Well, good morning and welcome back to Destahnee Speaks. Well, today is Thursday, you guys, and we are almost at the end of another work week. And this has been a short week for us, and a lot of times with a short work week, when we've had a day off, the week just seems to drag. But I don't know about for you guys, but for me, it has really been a short week, and I am grateful to that, okay? Now, anyway, I just wanted to talk with you briefly this morning about letting go of some people and letting go of some things that we just need to release from our life. And I know, as you continue in your Christian walk, especially for those that are new to the Christian faith who are maybe just coming into the kingdom, you're going to realize that there are a lot of people that God is going to have you to release from your life. A lot of your old friends, maybe not always, but sometimes people that we used to hang around, they're just not going where you're going. Not yet anyway. They're not ready to accept the call that's on their life. So they are not ready to go where you're going. You know what I mean? And sometimes God will ask you to release some people from your life or release some things from your life. When we talk about letting go, sometimes it's letting go of television programs, letting go of movies that we don't need to be watching. Whatever it is that God calls you to release from your life. And as you begin to pray and seek God, you will begin to understand and you will begin to hear his voice, and you'll know when it's time for you to release something from your life. But a lot of times we like to hold on to things because they're just familiar to us. I'm certainly like that. If my daughter was here today, she would tell you that I am a borderline hoarder, so she says, because there are things that I just don't want to let go of, things that I've had for years, and I'm like, we're cleaning up and we're taking things to Goodwill or doing different things. I'm like, oh no, not that, because I can use that later on. Or oh no, that's not broken, I can fix that. All it needs is a little something here and a little something there. I just like to hold on to things. But I have come to realize when the Lord has asked me to release something, I don't have a problem releasing that thing from my life. Now, I haven't always been that way. There were times in my life where there were just certain things and certain people that I wanted to hold on to, for whatever reason. Maybe I thought I could help them, or maybe I thought I needed them. But as you begin to walk with the Lord, you will understand that He is all that you need, and that when He asks you to release something from your life, there is a reason for that. And we can look in the book of Genesis and read about Abraham. Abraham is a perfect example about having to release some things from your life. The Bible says that God came to Abraham and He told Abraham, listen, I want you to get out of your country, get away from your kinsfolk, and go where I tell you to go. Now, Abraham, he was obedient to God, but only partially obedient. He took the word of the Lord and he went with it. But the Bible says that, I believe it's in the 12th book of Genesis, where the Bible says that Abraham obeyed the Lord. And he took Lot with him, and Lot went with him. It didn't say he took Lot with him. He says Abraham obeyed the Lord, and Lot went with him. And Lot was Abraham's nephew. He was Abraham's brother's son. The Bible says that Lot went with him. But then if you skip down to the next verse, it says that Abraham, obeyed God. He took Sarah, his wife, and he took Lot with him. So in the first verse up there, I think it's around verse 4, it says, and Lot went with him. But when Abraham got ready to leave, the Bible says that Abraham took Lot with him. Okay, so there are things or people that are gonna want to come with you on your journey that God has not ordained for them to come, and they're gonna try and come along with you. But if you don't stop them, if you don't say to them, listen, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the end of the line right here. I'm going somewhere, and you are just not. You're just not where I am right now. This is just not a good relationship for me. And you don't have to actually say that. The Lord will make a way of escape for you. That relationship will begin to not be as close as it used to be. And we know when things are coming to an end, but still we try and hold on to them. Okay. And that's what the Bible means. Lot went with him. And then Abraham didn't say anything, even though he know God said for him to get away from his kinfolk. It was only his immediate family, his wife that he was supposed to take. But he allowed Lot to go with him, okay? So as time progressed, Lot and Abraham, both of them were rich in cattle. You know, they had a lot of substance and things with them. And the Bible says that the land could not hold them. You know, you've got all these cattle, they need water. So there came a day when the two groups, Lot's people and Abraham's people, began to have a struggle over the water. You know, our cattle need to be watered and their cattle need to be watered. So they got into an argument about that. And Abraham said, listen, there's no need for us to get into a fuss over this. This land is great. There's so much space out here. So he told Lot, listen, figure out what part of the land you want, and you go that way and I'll go in the other direction. So Lot chose what he thought was going to be the best land for his cattle, and he looked up and he said, oh, that looks good. I'll take this. But as you go further in the chapter, in chapter 13, around the 14th verse, after Lot and Abraham had separated, the Bible says, and after Lot and Abraham had separated, then God spoke to Abraham. See, once you get rid of or let go of the things that God has asked you to release, then God will speak to you and begin to give you direction about where he wants you to go. Because listen, everyone is not ordained to go where God is taking you. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. Lot was a good person, but he was not ordained to go where God was taking Abraham, and God knew this. So in the beginning, he told Abraham to get out of his country and get away from his kinfolk, but Abraham was not ready to release those things. But the Bible says after Abraham and Lot were separated, then the Lord spoke to him, and then the Lord blessed him, okay? And the Lord told him to lift up his head. He said, now lift up your head and look from the place that you're at, okay? And that's just another thing right there. A lot of times we think that we've got to be in a certain place for God to bless us, but God can bless you right where you are. He told Abraham, lift up your head from where you are and look out, and everything that you see, you know, the sand on the ground here, that's how much I'm going to bless you. That's how big your family is going to be, okay? So once Abraham truly obeyed God and released Lot from his life, that's when the Lord spoke to him, and that's when the Lord blessed him. So there are some things in your life that God has asked you to release. There are some people that God has asked you to release from your life, and you've been holding on to those things or to those people for whatever reason. Maybe you think you need them. Maybe you don't think you can get along without them. But I'm here to tell you that God is all that you need. And if he has asked you to release something from your life, it is so that he can bless you with something else. And there may come a time when those people or those things may come back into your life. But God has asked you to release them today. So why don't you think about that today? Why don't you pray and ask God to show you what may be holding you back from your blessing? Because it was after Abraham released Lot that the Lord blessed him, that the Lord showed him, you know, where he wanted him to go. So maybe you're holding yourself back today by holding on to things that God has asked you to release. Listen, I know they feel comfortable. I know that they're familiar, but they're not ordained to go with you to your next level, okay? And we don't want to stay where we are. We want to continue to grow in God. And the way that we do that is by being obedient to him, okay? That's just a little something for you to think about today as you go on throughout your day. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Be blessed, encourage someone, and love on somebody. This has been Destahnee Speaks. Have an awesome day, and I will see you next time.